This is Texas running back Jaydon Blue.
21-year-old early declare out of Texas. We saw him in the biggest games of the season and runs 4.38 in the 40-yard dash. He's officially on the radar with that type of profile. We had to go into the tape and kind of figure out exactly what he is. To me, he runs all of the routes out of the backfield. Wheel routes, Texas routes, ironically. Quick plays off of play action as well. Did he drop some passes? He absolutely did. Did he fumble some balls? He absolutely did. So we'll have to figure out exactly what his role is going to be in the NFL because he is just 196 pounds.
Let's talk through it. Just 214 career carries at the University of Texas. I will add, as you pointed out, he's super fast. I mean, a 4.38 40, 1.52, 10-yard split. And I believe James Foster pointed out that 61% of his runs were off tackle, which makes total sense. Let's get him to the edge. Let's try to get a sliver of space for him. And let's try to create explosive plays off of that. Now, to kind of the awkward part of this. And it begins with his athletic testing. Now, at 5'9", 196 pounds, he had a 72nd percentile broad jump and then a 3% vertical. I do not know how that works. Typically, it's either the agilities are down and the jumps are up. Yeah. Rarely do you have one jump fantastic and one like literally not NFL caliber. But that's what we have here with Jaydon Blue. I'm not going to read into that too much, but I mentioned the 214 career carries. He also has 7 career fumbles on top of that. There are certain aspects that are really good and then also need to work on. So let's dive into those. What did you like, or maybe we're uncertain of his profile?
What I liked was just he had some electric plays as a pass catcher, like wheel routes, the Texas routes. You can get him off of the play action, the quick passes out into the flats, and he can really pull away from some guys. He made a lot of like big time players miss out on one-on-one situations, the biggest games of the season. And he has pull away from you speed. When I was watching Kelvin Banks, their left tackle, you can see how they would get Kelvin Banks on the move and to get Jaydon Blue some touches out there. So he's a manufactured touch player. That's what I liked about it. Like he has 4.38 speed. You absolutely feel that. His best routes as a receiver are awesome. But like you said, the reliability is just a massive issue. It's with the drops, and he'll double catch some passes as well. But the ball is just constantly coming out. And it's really concerning when the ball is coming out and it's like one-on-one in space and the ball's still coming out. Like you just cannot have that. And I think one of the reasons why he was so inexperienced as a rusher is because he is so small and he is so unreliable out there. So to me, it's like, is he only a number 3 guy, change of pace guy, special teamer? That's probably where I land, which means that he's going to be a 6th or 7th round pick, in my opinion. But he has enough burst that maybe he becomes a pretty good one of those.
And he was even the number 2 for Texas in terms of rushing the football. You know, Trey Wisner had 226 carries this past year. Jaydon Blue at 134. Now, I will add that Wisner also had 44 receptions to Jaydon Blue's 42 receptions. We mentioned the speed. So you would think that it's going to be like big play after big play. That really wasn't the case. He just had 13 carries that went for 10 plus yards, 9 for 15 plus, and 8 for 20 plus. But like, again, with a guy with this level of juice, it shows me that you can't just be fast, that you have to be strong and have balance to win on contact too. Because constantly when he faced up against a defender one-on-one, either at the line of scrimmage, at the second level, or at the third level, if his legs got chopped down, he didn't have the balance to like stay up. He was a falling tree in the forest, basically. And the runs, when you were constantly looking at them down the box score, it was gains of like 2 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, 0 yards. And rarely did you have any 10 plus, and even less than that, obviously more than that. So I think he's definitely going to be best as a receiving back in the NFL. Now, as a receiving back in the NFL, he will also have to be important in pass protection. I think he has a willingness there. You know, like you look against that game against Georgia, they filled the A gaps, they blitzed out of multiple looks. He was willing to stick his face mask in there and make first contact. But then once that first contact, I kind of just think he's like too light in the pants with his anchor. Yeah. And then he just got like blasted back in order to mirror for long stretches of time. I don't know if he has that capability in this game.
Yeah, if any of you guys pass physics in high school, it comes down to mass is going to be one of the things that matters here. And he just does not have it at an NFL level. And what you see it in the pass protection volume too, Texas like just did not put him out there in pass protection pretty much for his entire career.
I think he had 32 reps this year or something.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. So like if he's going to be a pass down back, you're only using him as a receiver, which means that it's a very, very limited role here. So I thought it was a frustrating combination of that athleticism paired with the volume, paired with his usage. But I'm guessing that Texas handled this thing extremely well, and he's probably just going to be a number 3 or number 4 running back in the NFL. I'd be curious to see what he can do on special teams. Just a couple comps. Ty Chandler was like a frustrating player with a lot of speed. Ty Chandler's bigger than Jaydon Blue is, but Ty
Yeah.
Chandler got on the field a couple times and then just kind of just went away. Tyler Irvin was also somebody with very similar height, weight, speed guys. So that's kind of where I'm at with him. I appreciated he had like this really sick wheel route with the toe tap touchdown against I think it was Texas A&M. There was a couple other like massive plays in the receiving game. Beyond that, I didn't really see much.
Tyler Irvin, I think, is a spectacular one because if I remember back to his San Jose State days, you really were attracted to, not you specifically, just the general you. People were attracted to his out in space plays when he was a receiver or getting out as a runner. But then he like really couldn't find a long-term home in the NFL, probably for a bunch of these on contact mentions. And that's not to say Jaydon Blue doesn't try this. Like he does try like a jab step to the outside, then goes back and tries to attack the inside shoulder. But again, it's almost every single time he got his legs chopped out from
Yeah.
under him, he was going down. And we've seen so many backs in this class, and maybe, it's a bit of an overload of big and small guys that went on contact, force broken missed tackles, and then keep trucking. And he's just not one of those. Like at the very, very top, his comparison could be Chris Thompson, but I don't even know if I
Mm,
believe he can be there and
yeah.
even carve out the role that Chris Thompson did in the NFL, despite, again, a 1.59 yards per route run, which is fourth in this class. And even the underlying metric of 0.274 missed tackles forced per attempt is apparently ninth in this class. Again, that's just where my eyes didn't really match that underlying metric that PFF had.
Well, it's also just out in space. Like if he
Right.
completely makes a guy whiff, like a corner, a safety, or some of these poor linebackers out in space, yeah, it's easier to force a missed tackle there. But when you're never getting anything up the middle, like obviously your numbers are going to be inflated. So yeah, I think we
Yeah.
see him exactly the same. And in this draft class, that just stinks because there's a lot of good running backs. So we'll see where he goes. But I'm going to guess it's going to be a very late pick. And if he's a last pick in your favorite team's draft, I think that's totally fine. But I would be nervous. He was like a fourth rounder.
Yeah, again, I will add, just 21 years of age, doesn't have that much experience and opportunity at Texas. So maybe there's a chance his best football is ahead of him. All right, that does it. We have so many other running back profiles here on the channel. So if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and go check out the next video.